indecision, or it could have been like lack of movement from this person or ability to invest in the situation. And then we have freedom, was dependent on whether they were like, I think this person just didn't like to feel like they were held to expectations, that like they were going to set themselves up to disappoint you in some way if they couldn't meet. So it's like they would just kind of always have their foot on the brake in a certain way. And so now there's one, freedom from this indecision and courage to kind of move how they want to move. And if that's moving forward, then it's moving forward. But also recognizing like they have autonomy over this. Like it's going to help them to like take ownership of their own anxieties and fears in the situation. Which I think it seems like that was a huge hurdle in the situation for this person to kind of, for them to finally feel safe to show up in that way. Because we have courage, worry, and adversity. I do think that this person's, and then we have growth. I think they're still, like, they still have fears in the situation, balance, but I think that they understand that, like, they don't give as much power to those fears or to that worry because they've seen themselves overcome certain hurdles here. They've seen their own growth. They've maybe also seen your growth. And so there's something that's very reassuring about that. I also think there's kind of this vibe of like you guys both recognizing that you're no longer like trying to balance out the hurt or the regret or like the grief from the past. It's like this mutual, like, unspoken understanding of like, we don't have to do that anymore. We can just leave the past in the past. We're no longer earning our way back to this relationship. It's like if we're going to show up, we're just going to show up to it. So I didn't really finish what I was saying part 2, but 38, the messenger. Make sure that what is being said is what is being heard. The same words and messages can often mean different things to different people. That could be a big fear that you guys have. And it seems like it's coming from a place of like not wanting to ruin a good thing. And so it's like this energy of miscommunication. You may notice that this person may notice that you like over communicate, or that you may notice that this person is trying like to convey like they may just like have this energy of like reassurance, because I think that you guys both just kind of have this, you both have this vibe, like wanting to make it like absolutely clear that like your intentions, because you both probably pick up on this energy of like either of you not feeling perfectly safe at certain times. It's like you both indirectly try to communicate like it's all good. And I think that you do it indirectly because I don't think either of you fully knew why the other person was like had these tendencies, but you could see clearly like that you guys both would avoid certain things or move in, like you guys both could be just like fearful avoidance. 33, the witch. Be aware of your reputation, your influence, and your power to create, preserve, or destroy. Powerful women are often misunderstood. This also is sort of saying, like, I think you guys both know the impact of your actions and the fact that, like, you maybe both were really challenged in the situation of this relationship when it came to having to put like a specific amount of, or just more consideration into how the other person is viewing this or seeing this. And so it's not really what I was saying about like the people pleasing thing where you're trying to understand like this person's reaction to this because you just want to avoid them feeling a certain type of way. It's more like you guys could have almost like spoken different languages, or like something could make a ton of sense in your head, but it's like this person might need to, like, they might understand it differently. And so there's this energy of like wanting to make sure you're not being heard incorrectly, because you understand the power of like what you have to say sometimes and how it could either be taken the wrong way or it could kind of lead to like this card says, it has the power to create, preserve, or destroy. I also think that you might be trying not to give yourself, one of you is trying not to give yourself such a hard time for doing this. I feel like it's this person. I feel like this person is like, they really may have, it would make sense with part 2. I feel like this person knew that in the past, or picked up on the fact that in the past you would have certain emotional responses to this person's tone, or to certain things that like were coming from maybe your own trauma or uncertainty. Like I was saying, you may have had a hard time like handing over control because of that energy of uncertainty and like not knowing if you're like what position you're going to be left in when doing that. And so when this person would respond or react a certain way, it's like they maybe didn't fully understand that you were sensitive to this. And so I think this person is having to shift from this energy of like wanting to in the past avoid doing certain things or operating certain ways in this relationship or in relationships in general, so that they could avoid somebody else or the impact of somebody else's feeling from their actions, so that they wouldn't have to sign themselves up for expectations to have to like come and mend the situation. It's like they're shifting to an energy of like, well, I know this person really well, and it took me a lot of time to gain this understanding of this person. And so there is care in how I receive or like how I communicate to this person. And it's not walking on eggshells, right? It's like in the past, they maybe could have thought that that's what they needed to do. But I think that's where miscommunication happened in the past. I know that is maybe hard to follow, but it'll make sense to the right people. I also feel like you are trying to, it could be like put yourself out there, have like get some exposure to being thrown off and recognizing that like everything's still fine. So you could be really sensitive to conflict, or you could have had like a fear of, I feel like you have a fear of things going wrong. I think you guys are a lot alike in very like specific ways that like perfectly mirror each other, but I don't think that you guys made that connection until really long time into this relationship. That's cute. It's a rainbow. Self-esteem, change, abundance. I usually see this as job, somebody's job. Gratitude, happiness, and then judgment. You or this person could be at a place where like one of you is really happy or satisfied with like your career, like the moves you've made in your career, and there's something about like change. You can be recognizing that like your faith is being tested a little bit in that.